Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. It means we're brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Our normal Tuesday guests headed your way. Sharif Ishak talking Saints in 15 minutes. Glenn West talking Tigers. We'll focus a lot on baseball there at 1:30. Keith Carter says Ole Miss might sue LSU's players. And then LSU might be on the hook for that money. We'll talk about it at the end of hour number one. We'll continue our in-depth chart at wide receiver. At the top of hour number two, got a lot of wide receivers to talk about. There may be a spot for LSU to add to the basketball roster. This broke yesterday after our show was over. We'll discuss it in hour number two as well. So plenty to get to here. Thanks for being with us. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
We learned earlier today who all 16 teams will be taking to SEC Media Days, and I do believe I've got a pretty good handle on my audience in this respect. I don't believe to all of you that SEC Media Days is as impactful as it is to us here professionally. You are still enjoying your summer vacations. You are still going to the beach. You are still at the lake. Your kids are in camp. You're handling things in the summer, and football's not necessarily front and center for you in the middle of July. And I know that not all of you are locked in to Missouri football or care too much about teams that LSU's not going to play this year, like Georgia or South Carolina. I understand that Media Days is an interesting background noise thing for some of you. I do believe that a lot of you appreciate some of our content as far as the interviews that we do and some of the things that we'll bring you. But for us, it's a big week in the summer. It's a big week for content. It's a big week for social media. It's a big week for networking. It's an important week for us, probably a little bit more important than it is for you. And y'all are aware, I think if you listen to me with any sort of regularity, my thoughts on press conferences. I'm in the media business. I listen to press conferences. We take some context from those. We take some content from those, and we form our opinions and present the content that we can from that. But I oftentimes believe that coaches and players are trained to say nothing, that often speak in cliches and in coach speak and don't speak in reality. And oftentimes press conferences are not worth a whole heck of a lot. And we're about to go to an event where they have press conferences for 4 weeks straight. So this is not a situation where I've got this vitriolic reaction to LSU's three guests for SEC Media Days next week. I'm disappointed, but I don't think that LSU got it wrong. I think they just missed an opportunity. LSU is going to bring Whit Weeks, Trey'Dez Green, and TJ Daugherty to Media Days. Whit is an awesome dude. He's a great dude to be around. He's jovial. He's infectious. He's fun. He went to Media Day last year, and he'll light up some rooms with that big old smile and that country twang. Is he going to bring the house down with a lot of quotes? Probably not. But he'll put a smile on some media members' faces, and if they put him on the Feinbaum show or something, he'll really come through with some fun energy. Trey'Dez Green has a big old smile, and Trey'Dez Green loves to answer questions. Trey'Dez Green is not long-winded, is not going to give you deep, introspective answers. He's a surface-level guy. He's a hell of a player. So is Whit Weeks. But he's not going to be a headline grabber at SEC Media Days. And then TJ Daugherty is very well-spoken, and is a great player. He led the SEC in tackles last year. They played 15 games to get there, but he had a lot of tackles, played a heck of a game against Miami in the national semifinal, had like 14 tackles in that game. And he's going to be a leader on LSU's defense, and I think it says a lot that Lane Kiffin thinks enough of him after him being with the program for a year in Oxford to come on and to be in SEC Media Days at LSU where he hasn't played it down. But also, and this is something that's going to come up, so I don't feel bad talking about it. Like, TJ Daugherty was involved in an incident at Clemson that resulted in the dismissal of another player on that team, and that Lane Kiffin has repeatedly said TJ Daugherty was a victim of. And I have no reason not to believe that. I don't know every specific of what went on there, but there were some improprieties in the locker room, and it led to a dismissal, and TJ Daugherty moved along. And that's going to come up at SEC Media Days. Like, if you bring someone with that sort of incident that is public, that's going to come up. And it surprises me that LSU is going to do that. That already came up in Oxford, and it came up in Baton Rouge in spring ball. He answered the questions he was comfortable answering. He declined to answer the ones he didn't want to answer, and it ran its course in Baton Rouge. But it will come back up in Tampa next week. So I have no problem with any of these three as individual picks. I think that Trey'Dez Green has a chance to win the Mackey Award this year. I think he'd be a first-round pick, an All-American. I think he could be a key cog to a really good LSU team. And I think he's a fun guy to talk to. I think Whit Weeks is a heck of a player. I think he's got an infectious personality, and I think people will enjoy talking to him in Tampa. And TJ Daugherty is a heck of a player, does well in front of a microphone, and it says a lot about him being a leader. All that stuff is true, but I think you missed an opportunity. I think you missed an opportunity to bring your quarterback. And I don't know everything that goes into the discussions around who to bring to media days. I don't know how much say Lane Kiffin has. I don't know how much say Michael Bonnet has. I don't know how much say Dr. Tommy Karam has, who handles their media relations from a player perspective. Like, when we deal with here's how the media stuff works for football. We go to the interview room, and Michael Bonnet, the head sports information director there, tells us what players are coming, and he's in charge of that go-between. He also introduces the head coach at the Monday press luncheons and all that kind of stuff. He does media relations for LSU football. And then Dr. Tommy Karam, who's awesome. I took his class at LSU. Great guy. He works with the players on how to handle yourself in front of the media. And he's there for all those press conferences and does an awesome job as a media relations guy. He's also a great guy to talk to. But he also helps them get these guys ready for this week, because it's a grind for those guys for the whatever they are 5 hours that they're there. It's room to room to room to room to room, and the questions almost never stop. And they're coming from all angles, from all different kinds of people. And some players are more comfortable in front of cameras and not, and they're celebrities in those rooms in terms of media personalities that they got to talk to. And there's a lot for those guys, and they got to be ready for that. And so I don't know what goes into all of those discussions and ultimately who becomes. But I would just suggest that Sam Leavitt would be a benefit to LSU going to this event. He is a fourth-year college player. He is a 2-year starter who has made a start in the college football playoff. He has dealt with media. He is old and mature. I understand he got hurt last year. I understand that you're going to answer questions about his Liz Frank injury for 4 hours. I understand that he is a high-profile transfer and that there's likely going to be questions about NIL dollars that go his way. And there are some complicated things with him that maybe LSU doesn't want him to speak directly to at this point in the calendar. But I think he's savvy enough to handle those. Ankle feels great. Foot feels great. Had the pins removed during spring ball, running around, working 7-on-7 with my teammates, ready to go. It's just not a hard answer. Yeah, obviously, I was in the transfer portal, took some visits. Financial aspect is one of those things, and we took that very seriously, multiple different places, but we also weighed coaching and fit in a program and where we wanted to spend our final year in college, and LSU just felt like the place. Like, these are easy answers to come up with when you've got a week to prepare for this stuff. And I would just like for Sam Leavitt to kind of be the face of the program and go. Now, look, Garrett Nussmeier is the face of the program. He went to SC Media Days. He got hurt in August, and they had a bad year. Like, I'm not suggesting that this is going to impact LSU's season one way or another. And there's a part of me, candidly, that would like the first Sam Leavitt conversation that we've had since he became an LSU Tiger. He did not meet with the media in the spring, and I understand that. He's hurt and he's not practicing. Okay, don't bring him out. I mean, I would have, but you don't have to. And you don't have to in this instance either. I would just have liked to see LSU do that. I think he's a big storyline. I think he's got a chance to be the face of the program. I think it's not unreasonable to suggest that he could have a monster season that might catapult him into the Heisman running. Like, that's not out of the question. I don't think I'm betting on it, but it's certainly not out of the question. And I would have just liked to see Sam Leavitt go. I mentioned Bo Bordelon last week in my guesses. I mentioned Ty Benefield last week in my guesses. I went 0 for 3 on mine, which is inconsequential, and I was just throwing darts at a dartboard anyway. But I just wish that LSU would bring the quarterback to be the face of the program next week in Tampa, and the decision has been made not to do that. Not going to cost LSU a single point against Clemson, and perhaps Sam Leavitt's got an obligation next week that I'm completely unaware of. That's absolutely possible. But all things equal, if you're asking me from a content perspective and just from a representing LSU perspective, who would I like to see up there? The quarterback is generally going to fall into that no matter who it is year over year. So for Leavitt not to be going, I'm disappointed. Matt will probably tell you on his show later today that he thinks every school should take their quarterback. I'm not going to go that far. There are some schools that may have a quarterback controversy they don't want to expose in July, and there may be instances where that's not necessarily the case. But as a general practice, I'm on board with that. And I wish that LSU in this situation for a high-profile quarterback who is, in college football terms, a celebrity, who has been in the spotlight before, who has dealt with the media before, who should be the face of the operation, not to be going to Tampa is a bit of a bummer for me. But next Thursday in the morning, which is a good thing for us because we've got flights out on Thursday evening, we will get Whit Weeks, TJ Daugherty, and Trey'Dez Green in Tampa, Florida. That'll be the LSU caravan that will be headlined by Lane Kiffin. There's no doubt about that, and he'll be a huge draw. There's a reason that LSU is not going first this year, which LSU has gone first a lot of years in a row. LSU is oftentimes Monday morning of SEC Media Days. LSU is Thursday this year, and I believe that's because the SEC believes they can keep writers around as long as Lane Kiffin's in that building. So that's, I think, why the LSU has been selected to go last in this instance, and that's the case. So we'll hear from LSU a week from Thursday in Tampa, Florida. I'm really excited to get down there. I just wish Sam Leavitt was joining us. That's our kickoff here. It's our opening drive brought to you by Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Take a time out. Sharif Ishak talking Saints. That is next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Speaking of Fabry Chevrolet GMC, why don't I tell you about them one more time? I'll actually tell you about them two more times throughout the rest of the show. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. I want to tell you about the Fabry family. Now, they've been at this for 35 years in the Baton Rouge community. 3 locations, 5 brands, got this point almost a year ago October, for the Chevrolet GMC store, and they have just been thrilled with the way things have gone there in St. Francisville. For those of you who live maybe a little bit north of town in Zachary or Scotlandville area that have made the drive up, those of you who've made that quick drive up from Baton Rouge, they certainly appreciate it, and they know why, because the Fabry family's got such an unbelievable reputation in this town over the course of 3.5 decades. So if you're looking for a new Chevy, looking for a new GMC, or looking for a pre-owned vehicle, check them out online first at FabryChevrolet.com. You can sort by whatever it is that you're looking for, and then make that short drive to St. Francisville and get that wonderful customer service you get every time with the Fabry family. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with advanced office systems.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Thanks for hanging out with us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We'll chat with Glenn West of On 3 coming up in our next segment. A lot of baseball talk with Glenn. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit of Saints. Their guy Sharif Ishak, WDSU in New Orleans, who I believe is still on vacation, but you don't have to give us some time on a Tuesday afternoon. How's it going, Sharif?
Still on vacation until next Monday or Tuesday. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, at this point, who cares? Who days are day? No, yeah. There's no day of the week on vacation. Are you? I know you do late night news when you're working. Like, do you sleep late when you do that, or do you still get up with the rest of us at 7 o'clock in the morning?
My sleep patterns are absolutely disgusting. Probably I don't go to sleep until 1 o'clock. I wake up at like 7:30. Okay. So I get like 6 hours, maybe 7 at best.
That's enough. I mean, I get up at 5 every morning, so I'm usually in bed about 10:30. So we're on about the same page here. I want to talk Saints, but before we get that, I know you spent some time here in Baton Rouge, and I actually, with you, spent some time with Roger Cador, and didn't get a chance to ask you last week about your memories of him. Coach Cador died, and there was a great celebration of his life here in Baton Rouge. You spent some time with Coach Cador. What are your memories of him?
He was awesome, legendary. I loved when he talked to me. Oh, Sharif. Every single time he saw me. For so many years, I covered LSU and Southern when I was at WAFB for the 3 years. And I enjoyed every single time going down and shooting near the dugout because Roger would just talk to me the whole game. Yeah. While a game was going on. It'd be an important game, but he's always got a story. He's always funny. I don't think I've ever seen him upset before. When he gets upset, it feels like he's like making a joke. So, larger than life, man. He was larger than life. I enjoyed every second of him. I cannot say one negative thing about Roger. Rogers was always embracing me and always open for anything when I was around the baseball program, and certainly will be missed.
Absolutely. He delivered one of the lines that I bring up all the time to you when they had a tough doubleheader, lost a couple games, and you were kind of asking, like, hey, how you get over this and move forward, and he just looked you straight in the face and goes, Sharif, it doesn't really matter until the conference tournament. I thought that was just an all-timer, which is actually true, but you never hear a coach talk like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was right. I mean, I remember that like it's yesterday whenever you were out there and he told us that. I just couldn't stop laughing when he said that.
Incredible stuff by an incredible man. Let's talk some Saints, Sharif. I'm going to leave an open-ended question to you. I did not prep you for this, so we'll see where it goes. What's the biggest question mark on this Saints team or in this Saints season that you would look at big picture in July? Because once we get into like the nitty-gritty of training camp, we start getting into details and who did this day, who did that this. I want to go like big picture. Like, what's a question that you have about this Saints team?
Man, I'll go one on each side of the ball. To me, it's who is going to be reliable behind Travis Etienne. In my opinion, it's Travis Etienne and who's going to be able to carry the workload without getting hurt and making sure he gets the necessary blows off the field, and so he doesn't get overused and overexposed and make him a 17-game running back. So that would be my number one question. Is it Alvin? Is it Devin Neal? Is it Kendre Miller? I mean, you can go up and down the list as which guy is going to be that guy. Is it Audric Estime? It could be a number of guys, but that would be one of my big questions. And I think somebody else would probably say, what about, right guard, and could Cesar Ruiz hold up at that position? But to me, I think it's running back. I need to know who is going to carry the workload next to Travis. I mean, Travis can't do it by himself for 17 games. So I think that would be a massive question mark. I'm not worried about the receivers. I'm not worried about Tyler. I think that situation is pretty solid to me. But I would say number one to me would be behind Travis. On a defense, I want to know if, Jonas Saker is ready to fill that star position, that position left behind by Alante Taylor. I mean, are they going to be okay with just having Jonas Saker there? I mean, I know people want to talk about Quincy and Kool-Aid at outside corner. But I think those guys are maturing. But to me, I need to know on that side of the ball, is Jonas going to be able to carry that workload? And to me, it's a great question mark. It's a great thing to ask a question about. But I think, in my opinion, I think Jonas is going to be fine at that position, giving him an entire offseason to prep for it and get ready for it.
Let's take those in reverse order. We'll start with the defensive side. Did we underestimate, or did I perhaps underestimate Alante Taylor? I thought he was a nice player, but I didn't consider his departure to be significant. Now, he got paid when he went to Tennessee, but what do you feel like we maybe underestimated his value to the defense?
The one thing with him is he struggled as a pass defense. I mean, he made a lot of penalties. He committed some penalties. He gave up the most yards out of the slot last year, but he was good at times very good at tackling. He was good at getting in the backfield and creating pressure on the quarterbacks or TFL. So that's what his specialty is, I think, in my opinion. It didn't really have many interceptions, but he did have a lot of TFLs and sacks. So to answer your question, I don't think he was underrated. I just think he was okay. So that's why I think Jonas Saker steps in and fills in that void and does a little bit more. Because his ability, the way he was running in that secondary last year and making plays, making pass deflections, tackles, some saving plays that stopped the team from getting a touchdown, and they would kick a field goal instead. So I think he's prepped for it. I think he saw a lot of what he could do last year from playing the safety position, and I think that's why I think he'll be much better than Alante was.
And then as far as the running back spot goes, I don't know if I've ever seen a series of press conferences quite like the Kellen Moore, Mickey Loomis, Alvin Kamara series of press conferences in the spring and early summer, because nothing was happening. He's under contract. He was showing up at things that he usually didn't show up for. But do you have a timeline on when they're going to make a decision on this?
I don't think they have to make a decision. He's under contract.
Right.
It doesn't hurt them to keep him on the team. And you cutting him doesn't make any difference. I mean, you already have him under contract. The best thing to do is not restructure his contract. Doing that would be foolish. That would be the worst thing they could do. It's already taken care of. You let it, finish out his career pretty much after this season and see what he could do. He could be a good limited role player. He could probably has a little, if you don't play him that much and give him the amount of carries or touches that he's supposed to have at this point in his career, I think he could be slightly effective for them in their offense, or they're in a slot, whether you're swinging them out in the screen, anything, doesn't have to have 25 touches a game, 12 to 15, maybe a game, and he's just fine. I mean, you don't have to overuse him when you have Travis and two other backs you're possibly going to keep on the roster.
Who's got a better chance to make an impact on this team, Audric Estime or Kendre Miller?
Audric Estime, in my opinion, just because of what I saw at the end of last season. Man, what a hard-nosed runner. I mean, he'll run you over, and he got some pass-catching skills. So I always look at the way how players finished last season. Whenever you were given an opportunity, you took a ton of advantage of it. The entire team was pretty much hurt on offense. Tyler was throwing to guys you never heard of, and then Audric Estime is one of the guys in there filling in that role for the injured running back room, and he's making plays against the Titans. He's making plays in the final few games of the season, and it's just why not? I'd love to keep him. I'd love to keep him back like that on my team, and who can, contribute in so many different ways.
Sharif Ishak is our guest, WDSU down in New Orleans, talking a little black and gold as the Saints are just a little over a week and a half from reporting to training camp, where they'll get things started for year number 2 of the Kellen Moore era. What's your biggest question about Kellen Moore entering year number 2? Do you have one? I thought he made some strides in some of the things that he did in his first season. I expected some bumps in the road, but now it's about time to kind of get things pushed in the right direction. It's not about a rebuild anymore. It's about taking the group of players that you've got and making them a winning football team.
Yeah, I think it's continue elevating the offense and continue showing a little bit more, showing, that he's an offensive mastermind. I think continue to implement his type of style of play in offense with Tyler Shuck. Now that this is Tyler Shuck's first full season as a starting quarterback, since you got a taste of what they could do together in the final 9 games of the year. So I would say that he needs to continue showing strides in that department. Being an offensive-minded coach, you need to see more. You want to see the creativity continue. You want to see him open up the playbook and let Tyler Shuck unleash the ball a little bit more. So I think that's, what we want to see. We think anyone, the fans and the media covering our team, you'd love to see how this, new age of football that Kellen Moore is very well adapted to, works out with this type of team that he's put together, which, is a team that's fast and has got some size on offense. So I expect him to continue, trending in that right direction. It's all about, Hunt. You got to continue trending in that right direction. It's not saying, they're going to win 11, 12, 13 games. Trend to where you can get to that double-digit win season. If it's not this season, it's next season, and you continue giving the fans hope.
All right, last question here. We've been going through ESPN's list of the top 10 players in the NFL at each position, and we thought Eric McCoy was the Saints' best chance to get a player on the list, and he was not on their list. So does it concern you for the roster that ESPN's not going to have the Saints have a top 10 player at any position on the field?
I think if Eric had stayed healthy for the last 2 years, he'd be on that list. I think it's just the best ability is availability. He just hasn't been available much in the last couple seasons. That's unfortunate because he's a top-notch center when he's healthy on the field. But, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think they like the underdog role. I think they'd like to be under the radar. They know what they're putting together, and they're fine with it. It's a young team. It's fairly a young team, Hunt. Look at almost every single position, and it's almost your important positions. They're almost young. I mean, Tyler's young. I mean, I still think Travis is young. You got a lot of these receivers are pretty young. Offensive line, your 2 cornerstone offensive linemen are very young. But you look at the defense, you got a lot of young players, a couple veterans. It's a young team. I mean, it's understandable not to have, any players in the top 10. Alvin, entering his final year, probably his career. Cam Jordan, final year of his career. We're not going to see those guys in the top 10 anymore. That's just how it is. It's just the honest truth.
All right, Sharif, we'll give you a week off. Next week we'll be in Tampa for SEC Media Days, so we'll be swamped with guests throughout the week there. But when we come back, the Saints will be ready to put on the helmets, and we'll get to work for the season. So appreciate some time. Enjoy a couple of weeks, and we'll talk in 2 weeks down the road.
Yep, you'll catch me right after the Mickey Loomis press conference, that 2 Tuesdays from now.
We like that. Thanks, man.
All right, man. See you in 2 weeks.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans. That's it, y'all. We got 3 days to finish out this week after today, and then we'll go to Tampa for Media Days, which is just a free-for-all. And then when we come back that Tuesday, Sharif will be coming from Mickey Loomis's press conference, and that's real football. So that's how quick it can go once you get through the stunning June of no baseball, which I believe Matt mentioned to Jay Johnson yesterday on AFR. I want to remind you about GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com, GoTrosOnline.com. Incredible deals throughout the month of July at GoTro's Outdoor Power. Been telling you about them all month long, but you still have time to get by their 2 locations, one on Airline Highway and, of course, one in Gonzales. 20% off MSRP on their Hustler commercial mowers, and 0% financing is available for 48 months. Thinking about, what kind of inventory they have of Hustler commercial mowers. They got the largest Hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana. They were the National Hustler Deal of the Year 2 of the last 3 years. So if you want 20% off MSRP on those Hustler commercial mowers, get on by and see them at GoTro's Outdoor Power. If you're looking for a mower to maintain your property, maybe the one that you've got, your lease is coming up, or it's just time to get a new one. Maybe you bought a new piece of property and you've never managed one that big before, but you need a new mower for it. GoTro's is happy to help you out. 2 locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and of course in Gonzales. GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTro's Outdoor Power. We're chugging along here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. I want to remind you to come on out to Court to Table tonight. We'll have sports trivia at 8 o'clock. We'll be watching the MLB All-Star Game. You can win gift cards, eat great food, have great drinks. It's always a good time, so I hope you'll come out and see us on Burbank at Court to Table tonight for sports trivia. We got a lot to get to here on this edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Keith Carter, the Ole Miss athletic director, has said that Ole Miss could sue a couple of LSU players, and they may or they may not. LSU would be on the hook for that money likely. I'll talk about that coming up in about 15 minutes. In-depth chart, we'll look at LSU's wide receivers. A lot of wide receivers to get to at the top of hour number 2. And there are 11 Division I athletes that are filing a class action lawsuit against the NCAA for a 5th year of eligibility. How might that impact LSU? I've got some thoughts on that. We'll do that coming up in 45 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Tuesday show is brought to you by Mintz Networks Cloud IT Management.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services, Boudreaux's Electrical Services, BoudreauxElectrical.com, BoudreauxElectrical.com. Be proactive. Be proactive when it comes to that Generac home standby generator, and make sure that you've got it installed before the storm comes through. The great part about having that generator is if you were to lose power for 2 or 3 days, your house will stay air conditioned. The fridge will stay on. The lights will stay on. That's very nice. And even if you leave when that hurricane's coming through, you don't want to come back to a hot, dark house with a fridge full of spoiled goods. We've all done that if you're in South Louisiana, right? Don't do it. Folks at Boudreaux's Electrical can get you that Generac home standby generator. They give you the peace of mind to know that's not going to happen for you. You can give them a call at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. The Gonzales location is a 225 number. It's 393-89. Call Neil and Melissa. They've been at this for 40 years, and they can help you out. They know how to service people of South Louisiana. They're local. You'll have a local team of installers, local maintenance team to come out and do the maintenance if there is a mechanical issue, and you got a local number to call if there is an issue that you may have with that Generac home standby generator so that when the power goes off, you're ready for the power to come back on. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services, online at BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is always brought to you by Men's Network's Cloud IT Management. Let's shift the conversation to LSU. Glenn West, senior writer over at the Bengal Tiger, part of the 0-3 team, with us on Tuesdays. Glenn, how are you?
I'm doing great, Hunt. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So let's talk some baseball. You had a chance to speak with Jay Johnson after the dust settled on the Major League Baseball draft over the weekend. It was an entertaining weekend and an impactful weekend for the LSU baseball program. What was your general takeaway in the head coach's vibe after it was all over?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that he, just from the 15-minute conversation I was able to have with him on Monday morning, I think one of the bigger takeaways, to be quite honest with you, is that he's kind of glad this is over. I mean, this is a years long process to get these players to campus, these high school recruits in particular. But really, these last several weeks, man, they were really, really pushing in this class because I think they felt like they had a good shot with some of these players. And I don't know that they felt like they had this good of a shot with the kind of talent they were able to bring in. But he's ready to get to work. I mean, like we talked about it, with the portal class and with the freshmen and now with the high school signees. But all the energy that would have gone into postseason and Omaha and potentially taking that 2026 team further along in the season was put squarely on this offseason, squarely on the month of June and July, and they were able to come out really smelling like roses from a portal perspective and now from a high school class perspective. And I think the main takeaway was they're ready to now just get to work. They're ready to have this class all fully join them. I think they have 11 of them right now that are on campus. They'll get the other ones here enrolled and starting their summer program pretty soon, and so they're ready to get rocking and rolling though over there at the Alex Box.
So from your perspective, and it's kind of a big picture question, but like how much of this draft impact are you going to feel in 2027 in the first season following it, and how much of this is just restocking the shelves and laying the foundation for the program moving forward?
Yeah, I think there's probably a balance there of both that they want to try to accomplish. I wrote a piece this morning about maybe like 4 or 5 guys that I could see, instantly impacting this team in terms of, roles. I think Malachi Washington in center field is going to be one to watch. I think Dominic Santorelli from a left-handed power bat perspective will be one to watch. He's kind of gotten that, Jared Jones comp from the left side, but I think he looks even more, polished of a power hitter than even Jones did coming out of high school. So, Jones had 160 at bats as a freshman in 2023. I could see Santorelli finding a way to finagle 100 plus at bats here in his freshman year. I think he's got that kind of talent and that kind of home run power that LSU is going to want to get him in the lineup some. But really, the pitching staff I think is where I think you'll see LSU really want to try to turn their focus to. I think that there's a couple that really stand out. Lucas Naraki, the left-handed pitcher, Colby Stringer, a right-handed pitcher, and Cooper Sides, a right-handed pitcher, are 3 guys that, at least in my opinion, have the potential and the talent to really impact this pitching staff in year one. But certainly you build for the future too. I mean, these are guys for the most part that are going to be 3-year players. I mean, like there's not a whole bunch of draft eligible sophomores in this class. Yeah. And so building around this core group, I think in 2 or 3 years, if we look back on this weekend or this past weekend, and LSU's had another great run of 2 or 3 seasons here under Coach Johnson, I think we'll point back to this weekend as being a huge leaping point for this next run of the Jay Johnson era.
Certainly feels that way. It's a complete 180 from what we saw last year at this time, where they were absolutely gutted in a smaller signing class by the MLB draft. Glenn West is our guest. You can follow him on Twitter. You can also see him over there at the On3, the Bengal Tiger over there with Shea Dixon and company. All right, you're looking at SC Media Days. LSU is going to bring Whit Weeks. They're going to bring Trey Green. They will bring TJ Daugherty as well. What were your reaction to seeing those 3 names?
Yeah, I think Green was one that we maybe had talked about the last couple weeks as a guy that kind of just made a ton of sense. I think Whit Weeks was, one that kind of also made sense but, because he was brought there last year, I wasn't entirely sure they would go that route again. But look, I think that you know what you're going to get with Weeks and with Daugherty. Those are two veteran players who have, been very well media trained at this point. I think Weeks in particular is a guy that has a very infectious personality when he's talking about football. So it makes sense that they're going to bring him along. I would have loved to have seen Jordan Seaton or Ty Benefield, to be honest with you. I think one of those two would have really crushed at media days, but I think Tradez is going to do a great job too. But would have loved to have seen one of the, the big impact offensive lineman or safety kind of join that class. But Kiffin trusts Daugherty. That's a player that he's very familiar with the last couple of years at Ole Miss. And we had somebody kind of joking on our board that he could have just gone full troll mode and brought Daugherty, Uman Mielen, and Winnie Watkins with him as kind of the trio. But I kind of got a chuckle out of me. But I think that they did pretty good here with this trio, and it'll be fun to see kind of what they say next week.
Any reaction to Sam Levitt not being involved in that?
It's not a super shock to me. I mean, he's, like I said, we haven't seen him much, outside of a couple of spring practices, and they haven't made him available to us at any point in the off season. So I wasn't exactly sure if this was the time to roll him out. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him a couple times in the preseason, but this is kind of, this wasn't a huge shock to me that they decided not to bring Levitt along. Cause I think a big part of, his potential line of questioning would be just centered around how healthy he is, and just not sure how much LSU really wants those questions to being asked right now. I think they feel like he's 100% and that he'll be ready to go in fall camp, but I would imagine that we get a chance to talk to him a couple times in fall camp, but not really shocked that he's not a part of this trio here going to SEC Media Days.
Anything new on basketball?
No, I mean outside of Will Wade going to visit a 2027 top 10 player in the country at a Puma event this last weekend, they're keeping things pretty hush hush over there. I do think it's an interesting little nugget that they went and watched Reese Alston, who's the point guard that they went and saw. Wade stayed multiple days to go watch him at this event, and so we'll see kind of what happens out of that. He did an interview with our Jamie Shaw at On3 in Rivals, just talking about if is reclassifying something that's on the table, and he said essentially yes, it's something that is a couple of these schools that are recruiting me right now are asking if that's something that he would be open to, and so we'll see if anything has any traction there. I think the bigger point here is that LSU's turning over every corner and every stone to try to find some lead guards going into this next season, which they desperately need right now, with only a couple that I think really kind of fit that profile on the roster right now.
We shall certainly see. Are we going to see you in Tampa next week?
I will be there. I'll be
right.
driving on Wednesday and driving on Friday, so we'll have a nice 18-hour car ride there and back. But the middle part should be a lot of fun on Thursday, getting to talk to Coach Kiffin and those three players. But we'll be there.
When you arrive on Wednesday, I'll buy you a beer after that long ride. How's that sound?
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's
Hunt.
Glenn West. You come on the show enough. I think I can splurge for what in Tampa's probably going to be a $7 beer, but we'll make it work.
All right. Sounds good.
That's Glenn West, senior writer over at the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 Network. Appreciate him giving us a little time here on this Tuesday, talking all things Tigers. I'm going to talk a little bit about basketball coming up in about 25 minutes because it's not LSU related directly, but there is some news that makes some sense that we'll get into with LSU basketball. When we come back, though, I want to finish the hour. Keith Carter's the Ole Miss athletic director. He said that Ole Miss might sue some LSU players. I will tell you what I think of that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. It can be something simple. It can be a tub-to-shower conversion. Maybe you've got one of those big, bulky jacuzzi tubs, or you've got a dysfunctional tub. You've got a tub that's old and dingy, or you just have a tub that you stand in every day to take a shower. Why? How about you take that out and put in a gorgeous new glass walk-in shower? You have that option with One Bath and Closets. I asked David when we sat down last, how long does it take to do one of these tub-to-shower conversions? So, well, you never know job to job, but I can say confidently that you're looking at, generally speaking, a 3 to 5 day job. If there's some unknown obstacle that they get to once they pull that tub out, Perhaps it could be longer. But you're looking at a pretty quick job. And if you're looking for financing, they've got it. 0% up to 18 months. Same as cash. So if you want a tub-to-shower conversion, get rid of that old tub, put in a new gorgeous shower to change the aesthetic and the functionality of your bathroom. Contact David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Ever wonder why Cane's sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remind you about First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com. FABT.com is that website, but you don't need to go to the website. Just stop in. If you're in Southeast Louisiana, you can't miss them. 25 branches across the southeast corner of our state. Been at it for 116 years, since 1910. If you're looking for a local banking option that makes decisions locally, whose calls are fielded locally, First American Bank and Trust. If you're looking for a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust. If you're looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust. And the decisions made on your loans are made by folks that are here in Southeast Louisiana. You see them every day. They're part of the community. First American Bank and Trust is part of the community. So if you are sick of being treated like a line item, you can't get somebody in a call center in Chicago or Atlanta, do banking with First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana, and you'll feel that community pull. And they've got the resources to help you out with 25 locations in 116 years in our communities. First American Bank and Trust, online at FABT.com. So I wanted to get to this at the end of the hour here. Keith Carter is the athletic director at Ole Miss. They are doing their statewide caravan where they stop by at all the cities. And the Clarion Ledger talked to Keith Carter and spoke to him about the buyout agreements for Prince William and Devin Harper. And essentially what this boils down to is that those two players signed revenue-sharing agreements with Ole Miss. And then, after that, jumped into the portal and went to LSU. So, ultimately, those two players are responsible with paying the buyout from the revenue sharing. For Harper, it's just north of $400,000. For Prince William, it's just south of $600,000. It's almost $1 million. It's $997,000. $1 million these two players owe the university. And the way that works is the 18, 19, 20, 22-year-olds don't generally cut those checks. The new schools cut those checks back. Obviously, LSU owes Ole Miss significantly for Lane Kiffin, and there's no reporting anywhere that suggests that LSU is behind on those payments. But these have not been made, and they're past due. And Carter told the Clarion Ledger that Ole Miss is considering suing to recoup those funds. That would be an option, Carter said to the Clarion Ledger, going and asking a court to get that money for you. Contracts are with the players. LSU could pay that on behalf of the players, so we're kind of exploring that right now. Carter did not want to get into the specific dollar amounts, but said that they're pursuing this in court, potentially. And here's my take on the matter. If you sign a contract, you should live up to the contract. So if Devin Harper and Prince William signed revenue-sharing agreements that bind them to that school, and if they break that, then there's got to be a contractual buyout payment, I think that payment should go back the other way. Now, there's a feeling that LSU may just not be paying it because who's going to tell us not to? And if the court does, well, then you have to. But the court hasn't told them to yet, so they're just holding on to the funds. That's not how I would do it, but I understand that we're in the wild, wild west at this point. There is a thought that Ole Miss may not pursue the legal battle because it's bad PR to sue college football players. At which point, I would kind of push back and go, I don't think it is. I think if you are recruiting a player and other school is recruiting a player, I'll just throw two names out there. If Ole Miss is recruiting a guy and Notre Dame's recruiting a guy, and Notre Dame says, if you go there, they might sue you. If I'm Ole Miss, I would go, yeah, we might. If you sign a contract for revenue sharing that binds you to the university, not an NIL deal with a third party, not a car dealership, if you are bound to us via revenue sharing, our only real avenue to try to keep you in the fold here, if you sign that contract for revenue sharing and then leave, we are going to go after the money. Now, the new school is probably going to pay it, but we are going to go after the money. I don't think that's some sort of massive detriment to Ole Miss in a negotiation. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these kids are just looking for other things, but this seems pretty black and white to me. If LSU is on the hook for these two players to pay $1 million to Ole Miss, I would suggest it probably needs to go that way. Now, look, LSU holding on to an extra $1 million is no sweat off my back, I promise you. But I'm not going to sit here and stump for it. I'm not going to criticize Ole Miss or LSU for tampering with players. That is just what goes on. It's not illegal, according to the law. It's hard to prove. If you do it the right way, through the right channels, go for it. Assemble your roster. We've got ridiculous rules and lack thereof in place. Go assemble your roster. I'm not going to clamor for teams to just stop tampering. You got to put a team together, right? And I'm not stupid enough to think we can control that. However, I am going to draw the line. If you sign a contract with a revenue sharing agreement with a school and then bail, I think we got to be making that whole. That's the way I see it. Now, I am also willing to admit that there are a lot of things that go on, especially legally this day and age in collegiate athletics, that I don't know everything about because I'm not a lawyer. So if there's some sort of loophole in these contracts that I'm not privy to, if there's some sort of different time frame that LSU is allowed to work through on this, or there's something I'm unaware of, I'm willing to come back, as I've done multiple times, and say, yeah, I didn't really get that, but here's what I know now, new opinion. But this to me sounds like two players who signed agreements to stay at Ole Miss, who decided not to stay at Ole Miss. More power to them. Go. But you're under contract. You got to pay the buyout. LSU's got to pay the buyout. That's the way I see it. And if LSU's defense is, well, come get it if you want it, like we're not going to write the check, I'm not going to sit here and say that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I'm just not. We'll see how it shakes out. Again, it's not my money, and it all feels like funny money at this point, tossing stuff around. But I'm not gonna go to bat for this. I think that LSU has a better head football coach than Ole Miss. I think Lane Kiffin's going to do some really great things at LSU. I think some of the things he did at Ole Miss may be difficult to sustain under new. There are plenty of things that I think that I favor Ole Miss in this quote unquote. I favor LSU in this quote unquote breakup on. This one right here, not really. I'm going to need the money to get sent towards Oxford. That's just my thought on the matter. Maybe y'all think I'm completely out of bounds here, but it's just the way I feel about the situation. So we'll end hour number 1 right there. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on this Tuesday, brought to you by Immense Networks, Cloud IT Technology. We'll come back, talk some LSU football, wide receivers after SportsCenter.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
And after I tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com. You can go check out the website and kind of see what the vibe is at Swing Easy, but the best way to do it is to actually just go. Segan at Perkins, stop on by. They're in the corner of that strip mall right there. It's such a cool setup. You walk in, you see the seating area right there in the front, in the waiting room area. They got a fridge stocked full of cold beer, seltzers, got some wine there as well. You go into one of your private bays. You slide the door open, walk in. You got the simulator right there in front of you. Got the comfortable seating, the couches, the chairs right there. Television can be turned on. The turtle box is ready to crank some tunes. And you can play golf any which way you'd like. If you'd like to card a score at Pebble Beach, get after it. If you'd like to hit 30 minutes or an hour's worth of balls on the driving range, have at it. You want to play a match against 2 of your buddies? Great. You want to take unlimited mulligans out where they give away that green jacket every April? You can do that too. It's all there. It's at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor. Parish Construction and Roofing won't cut corners on your home either.
Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com. I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. In one of the biggest matches of this World Cup, it's France and Spain in the semifinals with a spot in Sunday's championship game on the line. French captain Kylian Mbappe tied with Argentina's Lionel Messi for the tournament goals lead with 8. They are just underway in that match. Stars will be out tonight in Philadelphia for the 2026 MLB All-Star Game. The Angels' Mike Trout in the AL starting outfield in his 12th Midsummer Classic. That is the most of any of this year's participants. He's likely in for a big night, believes ESPN baseball analyst Eduardo Perez.
He's been dominant this year. And not only he's been dominant, better said, in the All-Star games. In 2014, he was the MVP. He went 2 for 3 with a triple and a double. In 2016, comes in and he hits a home run. He knows these moments. Midsummer Classic belongs to this guy, Mike Trout.
All-Star Game coverage, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. The Aflac kickoff game announced an NIL deal with Auburn leading up to the September 5th game versus Baylor. The multi-million-dollar deal, first time a neutral site college football games incorporated NIL compensation for student athletes.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Watch some highlights. I think today is probably takeover day for Ole Miss on the SEC Network. Watching Ole Miss and Oklahoma up there on one of the TVs. Trinidad Chambliss just sipped one over the middle to one Winnie Watkins for a big play up the middle of the field. He's going to play wide receiver for LSU this year. And that's where we're starting, hour number 2 here on this Tuesday, an in-depth look at LSU's wide receiver group. And they're going to need some name tags because it is a new crew out at wide receiver for LSU in 2026. Phillip Wright's back. He's it. The redshirt freshman is the only returning wide receiver from last year. And at this time last year, we were looking at LSU from a wide receiver perspective going, this is going to be a really, really good group. You got Chris Hilton coming back. You got Aaron Anderson coming back. They should really be veteran leaders on the team. You go get Barryon Brown. You go get Nick Anderson. You really feel like, okay, this is going to be a force of a wide receiver group. And maybe we'll never know if they were going to be a force of a wide receiver group. They didn't have a healthy quarterback or a good quarterback any of the season last year. So it was a wide receiver group that was wasted and may have been overrated. Who knows? This is a new group. There is no question about that. They went out and got 9 transfers. You bring in a couple of freshmen as well. Bring in Phillip Wright. You've got 11, 12, 13 guys, and it's pretty much all new. And so we watched a lot of these guys in the spring, and I'll kind of give you my thoughts on it. As far as what we know, you bring in transfers in Trey Wilson from Florida, who's a former 5-star. Trey Brown from Old Dominion, who was looking at LSU and Ohio State. Jace Brown, who was the all-time Kansas State sophomore receiving leader, went over 1,000 yards with the Wildcats. Winnie Watkins was at Ole Miss and was a big play threat as a true freshman. Got some size coming in with Roman Mothershed from Troy. He's big. He's physical. Malik Elzy is big and physical. He comes in from Illinois. Jackson Harris has some real size at over 6'2" from Hawaii. He was a big play threat for the Warriors last year. Tyree Holloway is an explosive playmaker from North Florida. And you also have Corey Barber coming in, who Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr., Coach McDonald, that whole crew identified him as a guy they really wanted, and they bring him in at the 11th hour from the Ole Miss signing class. Again, we saw a lot of these guys in the spring. And I'll just go ahead and tell you kind of what I see the pecking order looking like. I find it very difficult to believe that Jace Brown and Winnie Watkins are not integral in this passing game. Those are the two wide receivers I find to be the most likely to make a lot of big plays and to be heavily involved in being targeted. We saw in the spring a lot of jet sweeps to Jace Brown, a lot of screens to Jace Brown, getting the ball in his hands early and often. He's not the biggest, and he's actually not the fastest wide receiver amongst this group, but he's a smooth route runner. He's got good hands, and he was really productive in the Big 12. I think he's going to be a heck of a player for LSU in this offense. I also think that Winnie Watkins, based on what Lane Kiffin knows about him, is going to be on the field early and often. He is really fast. He's not overly big, great speed, quickness, just ability to make big plays in space. Winnie Watkins is that dude. Now, there are some other players that I would actually also bet on being a big part of what LSU's doing, although I don't know how I would quite rank them. Eugene Wilson, goes by Trey Wilson, was a 5-star recruit, and when he went to Florida, he was awesome. He was a 5-star. When he was healthy, he was great. Freshman All-American in 2023, 61 catches, 538 yards, 6 scores, lightning quick. When you watch Trey Wilson in practice in the spring, he was noticeably the most sudden receiver that LSU had. It really showed itself in the one-on-ones. Now, that drill is completely tailored to the wide receiver. They've got the entire field to work with, no safety help, no linebackers on the inside, no pass rush. They can just win in space, and he does that very, very well. I think he's going to be a piece to what LSU does. Trey Brown, the other Trey, is an interesting case because I'm just piqued. My interest is piqued by the fact that Ohio State and LSU were the two guys on him. He was Old Dominion, 6'2". He was all Sun Belt last year, averaged 20 yards a catch. Another one of the guys that had a big yards per catch number last year. I don't know exactly what his best skill is. He's not 6'5". He doesn't run a 4.3, but really big schools wanted him, and he was productive last year, so that's a guy that you absolutely think has a chance to help. That's probably where I would bet on. No, sorry, one more. Jackson Harris from Hawaii, 6'3", 205, big play threat from Hawaii last year, had 20 yards a catch, led the Mountain West with 12 touchdown catches. He's also a guy, you saw him make some leaping catches in the red zone. I like what I saw from Jackson Harris as well. That's probably the top of the list. Jace Brown, Winnie Watkins, Trey Harris, Trey Brown, Jackson Harris. It's ridiculous how much their names intertwine. You've got 2 Treys, 2 Browns, and Harris. It's confusing, but that's the group that I think is going to be the most impactful. Now, if you told me that Roman Mothershed made an impact, I wouldn't be stunned. He's the 6'5" guy from Troy, and it was said after they got him signed that the staff thinks he's going to play in the NFL. He didn't do a lot at Troy. 29 catches, has a prep basketball background, but he's 6'5", and he offers that. Then you've got Malik Elzy, who did not do a lot at Illinois. He's 6'2", 215 pounds, was a top 25 receiver in the country out of high school. He only started 1 game in 3 years at Illinois. So we'll see. But you've got size, you've got speed, you've got quickness, and I think that the top of that group is going to be the Florida transfer, the Kansas State transfer, the Hawaii transfer, and probably the Old Dominion transfer, plus Winnie Watkins from Ole Miss. That's where I am. Phillip Wright made some real plays with his speed in spring. Would it stun me if he got to the field? No. Corey Barber got real quicks as well. Lane Kiffin and his staff love it. Would it stun me if he got to the field? It might. He's down the pecking order, but he's talented. Ultimately, though, I think what you have here is exactly what Lane Kiffin wanted when he took the job. LSU, based on the amount of money they spent on this football team, could have gotten in the mix for Cam Coleman and probably could have gotten him. But at what cost? Could you get 3 guys for the price of Cam Coleman? Could you get Trey Wilson, Trey Brown, and Roman Mothershed for what you got Cam Coleman for? Because if that's the case, and you add a 6'5 target, and you add a guy who Ohio State wanted, and you add a former 5-star from Florida who had 11 catches against Georgia last year for 160 yards or whatever it was, then you've diversified, protected yourself against one injury, which if you spend big bucks on one guy and he gets hurt and you can't help him, can't use him, well, you've got a problem. And you've diversified skill sets. This LSU team has size. Harris is tall. Mothershed is tall. LZ is physical. They've got speed. Phillip Wright can fly. Under 10.5 in the 100 in high school. Winnie Watkins can fly. Tyree Holloway, great speed from West Florida. Trey Wilson, great speed and quickness. Trey Brown can really run. You've got the ability to win in the slot. Winnie Watkins can do that. Absolutely. Trey Wilson can do that. Jace Brown can do that. They have. So you've got size, you've got speed, you've got quickness, you've got all the elements. It's just a matter of who goes out there and wins reps. They'll have a chance in the spring, into the summer, now into the fall, to differentiate. And it's 9 guys trying to do the same thing. And we'll see the cream rise to the top before Clemson. I don't think you're going to play 9 receivers. I don't think you're going to play 7 receivers. I think you're going to play 4 or 5. And if you're not one of those 4 or 5, I think you're waiting on an injury. Because while I do think they wanted to stock the shelves, to diversify skill sets, and create depth in the receiver room, I think of the depth you created, you find 4 guys you want to go put to the field. And I think they will. And I think I've identified 4 them. But it wouldn't stun me if a couple of those other guys broke through, because you saw some things from a lot of different guys. I like this group. I think it's going to be a really tough group to cover. I think there's a lot of diverse skill sets, and I think LSU is going to throw the ball for a lot of yards this year. If they can keep Levitt healthy and upright, I think they're going to throw for a lot of yards. And we probably said that right about this time with Garrett Nussmeier. They did not keep him healthy. They did not keep him upright. They did not throw for a lot of yards. Keep the quarterback healthy, keep him upright. This group is good enough to win on the outside, make huge plays, do the things that Lane Kiffin loves to do, which is create mismatches, create open space, and hit big plays down the field. This group can absolutely do it. I'm excited for wide receiver at LSU. All right, if you want to read my in-depth chart pieces, you can do that at LouisianaSports.net. Go to teams, go to LSU, go to football, and you'll see all those in-depth chart periods. I did every single position, offense, defense, and special teams. You can see them all there. If you'd rather just listen, you can go to Hunt on LSU on YouTube, and we're knocking off one of these positions every single day. We've now gone through the entirety of the offense, I believe. If we maybe – no, we haven't. No, we haven't. We've only done the front. So we've done center, guard, tackle, tight end, wide receiver. We still got to do quarterback and running back on the offensive end, and then we'll get to defense as we get closer to SEC Media Days at the back end of this week. So chugging through, getting closer to football season as it were. If you want to read about it, or if you want to read about it, LouisianaSports.net. If you want to listen to it, Hunt on LSU will have all of our position breakdowns wherever you listen to your podcast. All right, when we come back, I may have found a spot for LSU to look for basketball players. I don't know, but I'm looking. It's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Shout out Marucci, official bat of Major League Baseball, and such a cool place to go visit. Take a tour. You can buy a ticket at maruccisports.com, maruccisports.com. Buy a ticket. Go on the tour. See how they went from a backyard shed to the official bat of Major League Baseball in 2 decades. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing facility. You can see where they cut the bats down, where they stand them, where they send them off to the best players in the world. You can also join the hitter's house. Take batting practice whenever you want with your key card access. If you become a member of the hitter's house, that is what you've got access to. It's all there at maruccisports.com. That's all from my friends over at Marucci.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Raising Cane's is raising $1 million on National Chicken Finger Day for Chuck's charity, Kickstart Kids. Join us July 27th and help us continue Chuck Norris's legacy.
Chuck was a personal friend of Todd and the brand, and I know this would have meant the world to him.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday shows brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Such an amazing resource here in Baton Rouge, especially if you're a company of 50 to 100 folks. That's kind of the sweet spot for Immense to come in and help you out with your IT. It's not just as simple as what most of us, myself included, generally think of IT. I think of IT as someone that runs around a business and you're dealing with frozen computers and bad email clicks and mouse pads that don't work and all kinds of just equipment malfunctions. That's what I think of IT in my experience. And that happens some, but that's not exactly what Immense is here for. Immense can help your IT department, but what you do with Immense is you partner with them so that they can come in and proactively manage your servers to make sure that you're not getting hacked, that you're not having cyber problems. Because what can happen is you can have a breach in your cyber system and you may not know about it. And it can go on for days, weeks, months. And then you find out about it and realize it's far worse than you may have thought. That can get really expensive. I mean, think about if your clients or your employees had their information hacked through your system. It gets very expensive very quickly. The folks at Immense monitor your systems 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure you're taken care of from an IT perspective. If that's something you're interested in learning more about and partnering with Immense to take care of, check them out online at immense.net. It's Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They're online at immense.net. All right, I have talked to you about LSU's basketball roster situation over the course of the last couple of months. And what I have said to you has been, I'm a little perplexed by it because it's not traditional. Usually you have your roster in the middle of July. and you know where they come from. In an LSU's case, you've got international guys that may or may not be coming, and you've got guys who are looking at different eligibility options, and it's just not clean from the outside, right? That's been my take. But I've also said at the same time, like, I take the quiet nature of LSU's basketball program as confidence. And what I've said to you is that if there was a significant risk that LSU's basketball program could not fill its roster spots, they would be panic loading lesser players, right? That just makes too much sense. If LSU was trying to fill its roster, they would not go into a season with like 8 guys. Like that's not realistic, right? So the quiet nature that LSU is going about things leads me to believe, hey, they know something that is not public, which is fine. And so I've kind of been looking, right? And I saw something last night. It was actually posted at 7:30 on Yahoo about some litigation that is now ongoing with players suing for a 5th year of eligibility that otherwise would not have it. Y'all know we've gone to 5 for 5, right? And the rule in 5 for 5 is that if you completed your 4 years of eligibility in the 2025-2026 school year that just ended in May, June, you don't.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brewley on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
That just came out of nowhere, but that's all right. We're back. But this new 5 for 5 does not apply to you if you completed your eligibility. And what these student athletes are doing is they're suing, saying, hey, everybody else gets 5 years. All the COVID kids got 5 years. The next group gets 5 years. Why are we the only kids that don't get 5 years? And I'm reading on Yahoo that there are 11 different student athletes that are suing for that 5th year. The plaintiffs are Cade Tyson, Brock Wisner, Anthony Johnson, Louis Jordan, Jefferson De La Cruz Montenegro, Isaiah Jones, Aiden Shaw, Diamond Lucy, Jaden Morrell. And I'm looking at these and I'm going, oh, well, Tyson played at Minnesota in basketball. Wisner played Northern Colorado college basketball. Anthony Johnson played Arizona State college basketball. Louis Jordan played for Radford. Jefferson De La Cruz Montenegro played at Cal State Fullerton. Isaiah Jones played for South Florida. Aiden Shaw played for Boston College. Like, these are all players. And then I realized, well, there's another avenue. Like, I don't know what they've got going on in Europe. I don't know what they've got going on domestically. But I do know that this is an avenue of player that I, Hunt Palmer, was unaware of. And there's like 11 of them. And what I know is that Yam Madar is not coming to LSU. And what I believe is that Yam Madar was going to make some money to come to LSU, right? To leave the professional ranks where he makes money to come to LSU, probably going to make some money, right? So there's probably money to be spent. And now I'm thinking, okay, this is a different hold efficient. I don't know if these guys get eligible, but it's not something I considered. My consideration was, one, the transfer portal, where you got Divine Ugachukwu and you got Austin Nunez and you got some transfers. And then the Europe model, where we were hearing some names from overseas. And now this is a different honey hole. Because they're not going to get freshmen. And a reclassify is going to be odd to do at this time in the calendar. Probably, if you do get a reclassification, it's probably going to have to come January 1st. So I don't know any names here that LSU is going after. I don't know that LSU is going after this guy or that guy who's suing for a 5th year of eligibility. What I do know is that, as I told you last week, I was going to make an effort, now that I think the dust has settled a little bit, to make some phone calls to LSU and say, hey, try to have some conversations. Like, we feeling okay? Like, what's the deal? And there are no names given. I don't have any names for you, but here's what I will tell you, the LSU basketball fan who's looking forward to this season. The response I got from those conversations was overwhelmingly positive and confident that this roster is going to settle before school. And that's something that Will Wade said to John Rothstein on the podcast 2 months ago. But it got echoed to me over the weekend. This is not shocking to y'all, but like, I don't get a lot of responses from the baseball program when they're in the middle of hosting transfer visitors. I don't get a lot of responses from the baseball program during the draft. And I'm not going to get a lot of responses from the basketball program when they're in the middle of putting things together. And increasingly so in all college sports. That is football, that is basketball, it is baseball, it is women's basketball, it is softball, in every single sport. The transfer portal situation and roster building is the most important thing. It is ongoing, and teams like to keep their business quiet. They don't like everybody knowing who you've identified as a player and gotten on campus. Because guess what? If you are, I'll just make up team names that don't involve LSU. If you are Tennessee baseball and you're looking for left-handed pitching and you're looking around, you're not certain exactly, and then you hear, oh, on Twitter, hey, Arkansas has this left-hander on. Let me look at him. Oh, I like that number. Okay, well, call him. They don't want that. They don't want their business, who's visiting, to be public. And that goes for LSU basketball, LSU women's basketball, LSU baseball, LSU football. Things are kept relatively. Now, you can only keep football quarterbacks so quiet, right? Everybody knows where they are. But basketball, there are dudes under every rock imaginable. There are guys in Europe. There are guys that were on the bench last year places. There are guys that were lighting it up at D2. I mean, Dalton Knecht at Tennessee. Who knew where that guy was coming from? I don't even remember what college he was at, like Northern Colorado or something?
Colorado State.
He was over some, and then like Tennessee was like, well, we're going to pull this guy, and he becomes a star. And so they don't want information getting out. So my overtures into LSU basketball did not net any names. I'm not even playing coy with you. I didn't get any names. But I got a sense of confidence that this is not some rudderless ship that's been railroaded by the court system or has failed in Europe. Like, they've got eyes on guys and they've got contacts in place. And so that just led me to do some looking. And all of a sudden, yesterday evening, this falls into my lap. And I can't point to one name on this sheet of paper, but I now know that there is a faction of players that is saying, hey, all the 2020 people, young and old, got a fifth year. And now all the 2026, 27 people are getting a fifth year. You have put us in the one block, the 2025 kids that do not get a fifth year. That's not fair. Give us a fifth year. It's a 1 year, one group thing. And they're going to sue about it. And this is a new avenue that I wasn't aware of. And I don't even know if that's what LSU is getting into. But it would make sense. So the timeline hasn't changed from a public statement by Will Wade to John Rothstein. Hey, we're talking about getting this thing ready by the beginning of school. And that's essentially what I was told as well. We're going to get this thing figured out by the beginning of school. So for me, and y'all know how I feel about that basketball program, I want great things for it. I concluded my research into the program with my phone calls and conversations with, okay, they got it under control. I'm going to put a lid on that. I'm not going to pay attention to basketball for a few weeks. And then as things start to happen, which I would imagine will be in August when we're knee-deep in football practice, it'll just pop up and you're like, oh, okay. Now, I will say that those guys showing up in August is not quite as good as them showing up in May. You would love to have your team together for a summer, and that's not going to happen at LSU. They don't have a full roster on campus right now. I know that for a fact. But it's coming. They believe that. So I'll just sit and kind of wait on it at this point. Chugging along here. Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. 30 minutes to go. Come back with us.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. FabryChevrolet.com is that website. The entire lot is online at FabryChevrolet.com. It's so user-friendly. If you're looking for a Chevy Silverado, you can search Chevy Silverados. If you just want a new one, click the new tab. If you just want a pre-owned, go to pre-owned. If you're looking at pre-owned and you're looking at year, mileage, and price, you can sort those as well. It's such a user-friendly website. And then if you decide on a vehicle that you like and you've got your Kelley Blue Book value and you can plug in your trade value, you can really start to see what you would pay monthly on those vehicles to get a sense of what you can afford, what you're looking for on the lot at FabryChevrolet.com. And then once you're done with all that research, make that short drive up Highway 61 to St. Francisville. Say, hey, check this out. I'd love to look at this vehicle that you got on the lot and hear more about it. Get behind the wheel, test drive it, and get behind the wheel of a new car. Summer vacations winding down in the next few weeks, I would suggest. But if you haven't gotten out on yours yet and you want a new vehicle for that, whether it's a Chevy Silverado, maybe it's a Chevy Suburban or Tahoe, maybe it's a GMC Sierra Yukon, you can check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com and make that short drive to Highway 61 in St. Francisville. And visit my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The Palmer Show brought to you by the Highlands Insurance Group, online at highlandig.com. That's highlandig.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team are really, really good when it comes to the benefits game. And they know that there are a lot of people that are hurting with the benefits issue. If you're a business owner, you're a CFO, and you deal with the numbers trying to get your employees insured, it's tough and it can be expensive, cost prohibitive in some cases. Companies having to slash benefits. It can cost you employees, can cost you talent, can make it difficult to lure talent in. Can't take care of them with their health care. with their dental, with their vision. I mean, families depend on that kind of stuff. You know that as a business owner, as a CFO, and they know that at the Highland Insurance Group. And they can't promise you that they can slash your costs by 10%. They can promise you a conversation, and they do feel confident that they can get you a second option. They're an independent broker. They've got contacts with multiple different insurance carriers, and if you need your company's insurance plan looked at, they can do that at the Highland Insurance Group. Contact them at highlandig.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at highlandig.com. You know, I'm watching this game, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, on the TV in here. It's the Ole Miss-Oklahoma game from last year's football season, and I remember how good Oklahoma's defense was last year for a lot of the season. And I look up, and I haven't watched every play. I've been obviously doing a radio show here. Ole Miss has 34 points. I look at that, and I'm like, that's a good coach. Like I realize that's a homer take to sit there and be like, oh, you took their coach. But like, nobody was scoring 34 on Oklahoma last year very often, and they sure have it.
Yeah, and when I see that, I just think about how nasty and disgusting that LSU versus Oklahoma game was with Michael Van Buren.
It was bad. It was a bad game.
It was atrocious. So the fact that Ole Miss put up 34, it shows the levels that LSU Ole Miss was last year a lot.
And I also just kind of group into my discussion here as I look at Ole Miss dropping 34 points on one of the best defenses in college football last year. ESPN dropped, I don't know why this got updated, but it got updated yesterday. Why they updated their top 100 players from the transfer portal? Like, how could someone have moved in July from a previous?
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody
unless you're just taking out Brendan Sorsby, and then that's your top 100.
Yeah, that or somebody got arrested.
Yeah,
Somebody.
I clicked it, and number 1 is Cam Coleman. He's very good. Yeah. He's going to Texas from Auburn. Like, he can play.
High price.
Number 2, Sam Leavitt. Number 3, Jordan Seaton. Number 5, Prince Williman Mielin. Like, 3 of the top 5 are LSU Tigers. Let's see how far I have to scroll to get to the next LSU Tiger. I would imagine not necessarily too far, but the point remains that I figured Ty Benefield would be pretty high up, but I haven't gotten him yet. I'm on 20. But either way, you're looking at an offense that's going to be quarterbacked by the number 2 player on this list and has left tackle number 3 on this list. And you consider that you've got a coach that did those types of things. It's just a testament to what the expectation level is going to be on this team. And this is something that I mentioned last week in just the course of conversation with the show. I am very interested to hear people that I trust talk about Sam Leavitt next week, because that is a little bit above my pay grade to go through a highlight tape and tell you what kind of quarterback you're getting. Like, I can watch a guy be athletic and move his feet. I can watch a guy run for 25 yards. I can watch a guy layer a throw over a linebacker in front of a safety or drop one in the bucket on a deep ball. Like, that's the obvious stuff that anybody could look at and understand. But, like, as far as progressions, decision-making, piloting the offense, all those kind of things, like, I don't look at the all-22s. I don't look at the incompletions or the throwaways. I don't look at a lot of the interceptions. I can find the detractions from Sam Leavitt looking at him from the perspective of he had 2 bad games against Mississippi State, that he did have Jordan Tyson, that he did play in a lesser conference in the Big 12 in terms of defenses, and he did play well against Texas Tech. But it's you're talking about a really talented dude at quarterback, a super talented dude at left tackle, and an offense that has just been prolific for years now because of Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. And I do think that that's something you can project on this LSU football program without having seen it. I haven't seen Charlie Weiss call a play at LSU. Haven't seen Lane Kiffin call a play at LSU. Haven't seen Sam Leavitt take a snap at LSU. Haven't seen this unit run together. Haven't seen how these wide receivers from Old Dominion in Hawaii are going to translate to the SEC. But what I can do is look at the track record of Lane Kiffin and of Charlie Weiss Jr., and I can look at what smart people who evaluate college football talent for a living think of some of the players that LSU has brought in, and it's pretty easy to deduce that LSU should be a top 5 offense in the SEC next year. There will be some good offenses. Texas is going to score some points next year. You can pretty much bank on that. Georgia, generally speaking, pretty good on offense. I think they will be. Josh Heupel tends to score a lot of points. I think you can look at Trinidad Chambliss and Kejuan Lacey and suggest that team's going to score a lot of points. And I think you can group LSU in with that top group of offensive teams based on track record from the coaches and the players. I am fully aware when I sit here that I told you this time last year that LSU was going to sling it around the yard. Fully aware I said that. I am going to give myself a pass on that for not understanding the nature of Garrett Nussmeier's injury and what that was going to do to derail a lot of the offense. They still couldn't run the ball. Michael Van Buren wasn't ready to pilot the offense. Joe Sloan did not do a great job as a coordinator. All that stuff is true, and you can hold that against me. But as far as projecting them to throw for a lot of yards, I think I get off the hook with the injury there. But I still feel more convicted with this group that because of the track records, they're going to score a lot of points. And it surprises me sometimes to look up and see Sam Leavitt thought of in the like that he is, because he's not necessarily, he wasn't a 4,000-yard passer. He wasn't a 35-touchdown passer. He's not considered, a top 5 pick in next year's draft. But he is considered an elite addition to this program. And I think seeing that time and time again from different outlets and understanding what Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. have done, it can only lead you to really one conclusion, that this is going to be a really, really good offense. Now, I'm just curious as I continue to scroll where the next LSU guy is on this list, because it's surprising for me to get to 29 and see DJ Lagway on there in front of some of the guys that LSU brought in. Like Ty Benefield is 32nd on this list behind Lance Hurd.
Oh, my boy from way back in the day.
Lance Hurd was a 5-star, and he certainly started for 2 years for Tennessee, but nobody in Knoxville has a ton of positive things to say about him. And Ty Benefield is thought of as maybe the best player on LSU's defense. So for ESPN to rank him all the way down at number 32 is surprising. I'm curious, and I was reading this piece in the break, the scouts tape. He's a smooth, taller athlete, great length, the ability to play in the box, and he has size and production. Benefield shows very good range in the middle of the field and is not afraid to participate in the run game, but is not super physical. He's best in pursuit and is an effective open field tackler who diagnoses quickly with great pre-snap awareness. He's very experienced and looks to be a leader on defense by getting guys aligned in coverage sets. So I figured he'd be better than that. I thought Ty Benefield would be significantly ahead of 32 on this list, but he is not. But it's loud when LSU has 3 of the top 5 on this list. It's the number 1 portal class in the country for a reason. There was a lot of money poured into this program for this season for a reason. They're going to ramp up the expectations because of the financial commitment that LSU's made. There's very, very little question about that. So that's a look at ESPN's best college football players in the transfer portal from this past cycle. LSU with 3 of the top 5 on this list. Pretty loud for the Tigers. Step aside, come back, close things out. It is a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Oh, it's really, really hot, obviously. It's going to be hot for quite some time. Heat stroke is serious, but there are some measures you can take to help prevent it. If you can wear loose, breathable gear, please do. Work out in the morning or the evening. Avoid those peak hours. Drink water and low-sugar electrolyte drinks. You can skip alcohol if possible. That can dehydrate you really, really quickly. Use sunscreen, sunglasses, sun coverage hat. That's not just for protection for your skin. It's also to keep you a little bit cooler. And this is very, very important. Know your limits. If you feel off, then stop. Stop. Do not push it this time of year in this heat. The symptoms of heat stroke: body temp over 103, confusion, dizziness, fainting, hot, red, dry, or damp skin, maybe rapid pulse, nausea, vomiting. If you're experiencing those type of symptoms of heat stroke, go to the nearest emergency room or, of course, call 911. That's all courtesy of our friends over at Ochsner.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Back to the point in the last segment, Oklahoma last year, 7th in the country in scoring defense. They allowed 15.5 points per game. Just some scores. Illinois State scored 3. Michigan scored 13. Temple scored 3. Auburn scored 17. Kent State got shut out. Texas scored 23. South Carolina scored 7. Ole Miss scored 34. It's quite a jump there. Now, Tennessee scored 27 in a game that Oklahoma won, 33-27. But Alabama only 21, Missouri 6, LSU 13 in the regular season. So Ole Miss with the real outlier there at 34 points. It's a quality offensive coaching staff coming to Baton Rouge from the way of Oxford. That's for damn sure, and they showed it that day in Norman, Oklahoma. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so public health officials are reportedly investigating if lettuce served at Taco Bell restaurants played a role in the outbreak of a gastrointestinal illness that's causing explosive diarrhea that is taking thousands across the country. So did Cassie dodge a bullet by not trying Taco Bell? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Look, I've got a buddy who succumbed to this.
Oh, wow.
No word on Taco Bell, but succumbed to this situation last night.
The produce.
Yeah, I was sent a list by my wife of things that I could not buy this week.
Okay.
Candidly, the Palmers are eating some frozen stuff this week. We're not doing a lot of salads, a lot of leafy grains.
I wanted some tacos today.
We went to the frozen section for some meals this week. There's also going to be a breakfast for dinner night this week. We avoided all that. I noticed when she sent me that, and I looked at the things I was going to buy this week, like, I was like, oh, well, I can't do that. Like, we buy a lot of, like, bagged salad mixes, a lot of bagged spinach and lettuce and that kind of stuff. And if we're ditching that for a little bit, it's going to be some interesting times. But I'm not planning on eating super healthy next week in Tampa anyway. I'm probably going to eat out and eat a lot of burgers and stuff.
Vacation.
Maybe some seafood. And then work vacation. And then this week, there's some frozen dumplings going in tonight. I think we got breakfast or dinner coming up.
All right.
Last night we did grilled cheeses with the kids. So we're avoiding a lot of the things we generally eat because of this. So we're going to try to avoid that situation in the Palmer house if possible.
See, at first I was a little confused because I'm like, well, doesn't Taco Bell always cause explosive diarrhea?
Yeah, well.
Then, I had to dive a little bit deeper. It's like, oh, it's the produce. Okay, that's a little interesting. So yesterday it was revealed that Lamar Jackson was number 69 on the top 100 list. We talked about that.
Yep.
Well, today they dropped who number 68 was. And it's Courtland Sutton from the Denver Broncos, the wide receiver. So, is Courtland Sutton over Lamar Jackson?
I'm going to leave that. Courtland Sutton's had a really nice career, but he's not Lamar Jackson. And I don't, again, like yesterday, I don't suggest that Lamar Jackson's like way past his prime. He got hurt, but it's not like he played a whole season and couldn't run anymore. He got hurt. He's healthy now. I think he's fine.
Yeah, the NFL, they knew what they were doing, especially how they had to wait a whole 24 hours to reveal who number 68 was. So I see what's really going on behind closed doors. So a Kentucky 9-year-old broke a Guinness World Record title by drawing and competing a 10-square hopscotch course in under 50 seconds. Bowling Green Daxton Hunter, 9 years old, says he was inspired to break a world record by his father and brother, who also have their own world records. His dad has one for biking in the most states. He said his brother has one, didn't say what his brother world record that he broke. So are we looking at a world record breaking family just breaking meaningless records over here? Take it or leave it.
Take it, but the more important thing is, did you determine if this is a kid's record or just a overall?
So it's a kid's record. It's under 16.
I was gonna say I could smoke this kid in hopscotch. I'm certain of that.
You gonna smoke him?
I could smoke.
Under 50?
How old's this kid?
9.
I could smoke him, no doubt about it. But if it's just a kid's record, then I'm not gonna try to challenge that. Shout out to him, good job. But I would have smoked him if it was a real record.
So what I'm hearing is just, were you like a hopscotch legend?
No, I don't think I've hopscotched in 30 years, but I know I could do better than a 9-year-old in anything. So I could beat that.
Well, that's it for take it or leave it.
That's it for take it or leave it, huh? Believing it at my hopscotch?
Well, it's really more because I find it more interesting that this kid has a whole, like the family, their lingo. Well, not the lingo.
They're breaking
purpose.
records that nobody else is trying.
Yes.
That's the issue.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
I guess really what everyone's doing. If you're not setting the Boston Marathon world record, you're really just trying to break records that nobody wants to do. You know who breaks the records that I think are just absolutely ridiculous?
Who?
These cup stackers.
Oh, yeah. Like the, yeah.
And then what's even more wild to me, the Rubik's Cube.
Yes, I knew you was going there.
I don't know how you do that fast.
Have you ever solved a Rubik's Cube?
Hell no.
Me either. I haven't either.
I've got the attention span of a 3-year-old. I refresh Twitter every 19 seconds. You think I'm going to sit there and stare at a Rubik's Cube? I got news for you.
A little dopamine.
I can't even get through, if I can't get the Wordle correct in the morning on the first 5 guesses, I'm not going to sit there for 20 minutes and try to come up with another word. I'll just get it wrong on purpose and see what it is. I can't sit there. I have no interest in. So that brings another ridiculous point up.
Okay.
Me and Alyssa started dating in the fall of 19, and then COVID hit spring of 20.
Okay.
So we were dating. Everybody else we knew was married. We couldn't go out to dinner. We couldn't go to the movies. Couldn't go do anything because the world shut down. So we had to find things to do at home. We bought rollerblades for her. We rode bikes somewhat, but we did puzzles, big table-sized puzzles.
Okay.
I don't like puzzles.
I'd never liked puzzles.
I had to talk about this at the rehearsal dinner when we got married. I was like, I didn't like doing puzzles. I liked hanging out with you, so I did the puzzles.
Yeah.
She was nice. She got me a Cubs puzzle that we put together. I didn't like doing that puzzle either. I don't like puzzles. I don't have time to sit there and do worthless minutia like puzzles. I need stimulation. I need action.
Oh, I need straight dopamine. That's why I've never solved a Rubik's Cube, but I will say I envy people that can do them. I do envy. That's a skill I wish I did have.
The only thing that's like a handheld thing that I like in that realm is that Cracker Barrel, that triangle with the T's. You jump the T's till you only have one left.
Oh,
I like that game.
I'm about to say, no, that's out of my wheelhouse.
It's quick.
It's quick. Well, let me tell you this. Though. Can we really understand the psyche of just looking up random world records to break, and that's like your purpose on this planet?
We looked up. We got a minute and a half to do this. We looked up when I was in college. This is a very college thing.
What is the world record?
We heard that the Olympic Village with the athletes was very promiscuous.
Oh, yes.
For college students, that's an attractive thing, right? Well, I got to get to the Olympic Village. How do I get there? So we looked up what we had a chance to qualify for the Olympics in. Not seriously, but if you told me I had to do it. Because there's no shot I can make the basketball team.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't beat
track.
Usain Bolt. That's not going to happen. I can't high jump. We got to find something I can do.
Okay.
So we settled on one event that we thought we had a shot at because it doesn't take athleticism. It takes precision.
Okay.
The 10-meter, which is not that far. It's 10 yards. The 10-meter air pistol. So you shoot.
The dude that shoots the
Now, you got to hit a bullseye every time, but I can't beat Usain Bolt. I at least have a chance to shoot the gun. So that was our only chance to get into the to the village and to get hands full of contraception and go have 2 weeks in the Olympic Village. That was our grand plan.
I'm mad y'all didn't go through with it and actually tried to attempt it.
No, we just got drunk and ate pizza and didn't qualify for anything. That's what we did in college. So that's the end of that discussion. That's the end of our show. We're brought to you by Men's Network's Cloud IT Management. If you missed any of the show, including our LSU basketball discussion, LSU football, talk to LSU baseball, as well as a couple Saints segments as well. You can catch that at Hunt Palmer Show, wherever you find your sound. Hunt on Saints and Hunt on LSU. Matt's going to drive you home next. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Let me tell you about Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com is their website. They are locally owned. They are locally operated. They can help you anywhere in South Louisiana, plus into Houston. And their core values are so important to them there at Lifetime Roofing. It's customer service, it's quality, it's integrity. They take pride in setting themselves apart from other companies by being involved in the community that they serve. And that's what they think of roofing as, because so often when they're called in to do bulk work, there has been some sort of incident where the community needs help, and Lifetime Roofing believes they're serving. They also do BCA awareness giveaways, military giveaways annually to help the community in which they serve. If you're looking for a new roof, they got you covered. If you just want an inspection to see if your roof is ready for hurricane season, they can do that as well. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. It's Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day.